Arsenal won, Manchester City won. This is my post-match reaction on Arsenal versus Pep Guardiola Sam Allardyce Man City. Hey, Pep Guardiola, boom. What was that? This game, Arsenal and Man City might have gotten away with one point. They must have come out for this game with a draw. But the real winners in this game is Liverpool. They are running away with the league. Remember, I told you these guys are going to win it back to back. And you guys are doubting me. There is no way. But today saw these two managers. They have their own share of criticism. You understand? With the setup of Arsenal and then the setup of Man City. These two managers are both giving each other too many respect or too much respect. Let's start with Arsenal. Why would you line up that three guys again? We have seen that these three guys, they lack that creativity. They lack that flair. You know, not that Zubimendi is not creative or breaking that, but they don't have that flair to take their man on. You understand? He should have done better. Why is Eze on the bench? How can you have Eze, Saka, and Martinelli on the bench at the same time? Eze should have started off of that left, since you know you will be inverting Trossard to be to be the second 10 aside Merino. Because in today's match, it was Califuori who was hogging the flank. Eze would have thrived in that left space because that is the position he played more in Aston Villa, in Crystal Palace. Today, within the first 10 minutes after Haaland scored for Manchester City, and Haaland talking about him, he has been in great form. This is one of Haaland's best performances against Arsenal, because against Arsenal, Saliba and Gabriel tend to get better of him, especially Gabriel. But today he was winning duels. In that goal that he scored within the first 10 minutes, he started it. He won his duels. Set Reinders up, who did a very good drive and perfectly passed the ball to him. And now, as a world-class striker, this is why I tell you Haaland is the best striker. Look at the sprint, the quick outburst in pace, after he laid it off or linked up with Reinders. Look at the separation he created between him and then Gabriel. And then look at the first touch with his strong foot, setting it up for him nicely on the right foot so that he doesn't need to touch it again. And then the low drive into the back of the net. And since then, Pep Guardiola twitch tactics. If you looked at this season with Linders and then Toure, you will know that when Linders was in Liverpool, na highline, you will see his footprints in Man City's setup in the start of this season against Wolves and Tottenham. But it seems like Pep Guardiola is not continuing with that. You understand? He adapted. Man City's press were mostly from the middle third. You know, a few number of times they tried to press on the front foot, but Arsenal, or maybe because they reverted back to the middle third because Arsenal bypassed it easily, especially with Declan Rice long range passes. He completed 7 over 7 long balls only in that first half. He had twice the number of passes as Rodri. Arsenal totally dominated and outclassed Man City today. Man City side looked tired, but yes, I understand why. Against Napoli and against Manchester United, because they have repeated the same lineup, and this is the first time since my life, or maybe that I'm seeing Pep Guardiola use this same type of lineup. And a lot of times within the match, there were times that Man City had just 15% of the ball position, and Arsenal had the rest. They left the ball for Arsenal and we are defending their post. And this is also maybe the first time that Pep Guardiola has had this number of ball possession in his career. Like, he settled for it. At a point, he removed Foden and brought in Ake. As we are complaining of that, he removed Haaland and brought in Nico Gonzalez, set up with 3-man midfield. 5-3-1, I'll 5-4-1, sorry. Without a red card. So it was wrong for Guardiola to start defending that lead. And even as of 65 minutes, he was making defensive substitution. The match is too long. And if Arsenal players were quite in form or were taking a lot of risks, if they had a good guy who can drive, penetrate spaces, this match will not end with a draw even. And again, he went down to brilliance. Look at that long range passing. This is one of the things that Eze will offer you. Dropping into the midfield and picking out Martinelli, who has in back-to-back matches now saved Arsenal. That was a very good run. And that was a very good and composed finish. It's not, what he did to chip a whole Donnarumma with that in height. So the changes Arteta made in the start of was very right. But it felt like you sacrificed 45 minutes. And when your opponent is leading you and head into the halftime, when they are coming, the approach will change. And they will have more confidence and they will defend better. But Doku brought Man City into this game. He was dropping deep. He was holding up play very well, dragging his team out. He could have scored. And despite Arsenal having much of the ball position, Man City still created the bigger chances. You know, understand? So today, Gyökeres tried his best, was trying to make sprints, pressing, and stuff like that. Arsenal defended well, and Man City played well. To be honest, this is Man City taking care of his team. Sorry, Pep Guardiola taking care of his team. You know that they were fatigued, they were tired. So the best way is to lower the block, and this is where players like Ruben Diaz shines. He's a low block defender, and that's the reason why he saw all those high line. He was caught off guard. So that's just it. Tell me your thoughts. Who impressed you in this match, and what you think of Pep Guardiola's new approach, the Mourinho tactical? And I'll be on the comment section. This is football Matakapa, this and analyst. The football pacifier and the football encyclopedia. Peace. No cheats.